and Magnet Bank of Salt Lake City, Utah. I am still concerned about the run on the banks and the financial people, or the big financial people, let's say, who have had larger amounts of money in the banks. What are they doing with it right now? I mean, where do you put your money if you've got, let's say you've got a CD of $20,000, and I'm talking about the big money people. I'm not talking about the people that are smart enough to go invest in gold and silver, but if they've got CDs of $100,000, those big jumbo CDs, you know, they're getting all of 2% interest right now. What are they doing with their money if they are pulling it out? Do you have any idea, Bob?
I believe that what they're doing is they're buying U.S. Treasuries, which to me is like jumping from the frying pan into the fire. If you go to the 1-month paper, the yield is 0.03.
Whoa.
You go to the 6-month paper, it's 0.14. Even the 2-year paper is 0.84.
Wow.
And so, and you can even go up to the paper in the outside month, and outside month. The paper in the long term, the 10-year is only yielding 2.80. And so there's no bargains there, but they don't know what to do. What I've been telling people to do, particularly people in their 70s and 80s that would rather be in cash, so to speak, I've been telling them to buy Swiss franc government treasuries. The 4-year paper yields about 0.75 or 1%, but they're the most solvent economy in the world, and probably the most conservative in the world. And they do still have 1,040 tons of gold, which they could use to reback their currency if they chose to.
1,000?
I don't know any place else to go, and I want to be very specific here. Don't chase yields. If you see some deal where it's we're in a market where yields run from 0.75% to 2.5%, 3%. If you're offered 5 or 6 or 7%, don't touch it. And the reason why is that they wouldn't be offering that interest rate, that yield, unless it was extremely dangerous. So don't do that.
Good point. I hadn't thought about that. That is a very good point. So do you think that the run on banks is happening right now? I mean, point blank, do you think that right now they're emptying out the banks and banks are having a bottom line that's noticeably decreased?
Yes, I do. And a lot of it's gone to treasuries. And the government's happy about that because they want to keep interest rates down. And when you buy treasuries, it forces the yield down. And the reason for that is that they would like mortgage rates to be at 4 to 4.5%. Now, on the 8 and 15-year mortgages right now, I've seen numbers that have come through from me from subscribers, and as you know, we answer everybody's questions, at 4.35%. And then I've seen a 4 and 6.25%, 4 and 5/8 on 30-year mortgages. So they're coming down, and that's part of that. And if you notice, the LIBOR rates are extremely low as well. LIBOR on the 3-month paper got up to 4 and 5/8%. Now, LIBOR is the interbank rate between banks in England, and that rate now is 1.17. They use both of those, the 10 and the 3-month, to come up with the rates for mortgages.
We're going to be right back after this 3-minute break. We're going to talk to Ted Anderson, see if there's anything left in the vault there at Midas Resources and what to do to invest. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Remember, in the third hour, we're going to be talking about a gentleman who says if you consent to all of this, then you're participating in it. And he says it's time for a new Tea Party. Will of the People, that's what he calls himself, willofthepeople.com, is going to tell you how not to consent. How do we change all of this? Well, the outrage is increasing as we're talking right now with all the things we talked about in the first hour news, along with Bob Chapman. It is all about consent, and it's time for a new tea party. A couple of questions. Let's open up the phone lines, ladies and gentlemen. If you would like to talk to Bob Chapman, 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231. A couple of questions on just minutia that I have a question on. Are all the stock markets closed on a Saturday and a Sunday around the world? I know this sounds strange, but I was just wondering. Is everybody on the sort of the same buying and selling schema that the United States is?
No. No, you have markets in Asia that are open on Sunday, and they carry over into Monday. And a good example of that is the Tocom market, which is the Tokyo Metals Exchange. And they trade gold, silver, and other commodities as well. And we catch the Tocom trading East Coast time about 11 or 12 o'clock Sunday night, and we see what's going on over there. And then about I get on the market around 3:30 Eastern time in the morning to see how it's carried through. This morning was a good example of a attack both in London as well as on the Tocom by what looks to be the United States government to drive gold down. And I had it down close to $20. And then when we had the opening about a little over an hour ago in COMEX in New York, they tried to take it lower, and they were unsuccessful. And now it's only off about $8. And so you can follow those things from market to market. And yes, markets do operate when we're not operating.
It's interesting. Now, the Hang Seng is way down right now. I mean, it's really, the Hong Kong market is really suffering horribly, as well as the Russian ruble has been devalued many, many times. The stock market opened down today. It's down 100 points right now, I think somewhere around there. What do you expect to see today or perhaps this week? Are there any big financial numbers that are supposed to be revealed this week?
Not that I'm aware of, but I think that gold and silver are telling you that they certainly want to go higher, and the machinations of central banks to try to keep them down on Monday and Tuesday like they did last week because of option expiration on Wednesday will prove to be unfruitful. Gold and silver should go higher this week.